Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it happens to be for you. Today we are talking transfer window. So we are into transfer window, and fans, of course, are speaking about what they want to happen in this transfer window. So it kind of got me thinking, what would be a good transfer window? I think a good transfer window isn't about excitement. It is, I guess, obviously, we love to be excited about players that we're linked with. But really, what it's actually about is whether the squad is actually balanced by the end of it. So, the factors that come into it, I think, for people is it a big name? How much do we spend? How many players do we get? What actually matters? How long it takes to get players? Does that matter more? It feels like every summer there are highs and lows on the extreme side. We get players linked with, we get excited, then they get linked somewhere else or go somewhere else, or the deal doesn't appear, and of course it is big meltdown disappointment. But do fans judge a little bit too early in the window? So do people kind of do these extremes a bit too early on? With the money side of it, as fans, I think we shouldn't worry about money. It's not our money, right? So I don't know why people go, well, we paid X amount too much for so and so. But I guess if we only have a limited amount of money, we don't want to obviously spend all of that money on one player and not be able to get any other players. Like, that is a reasonable stance to have. And I know we don't obviously trust them with how much we're going to spend, because in the past we have been burnt a lot. So can we really judge it on money? I don't think so, because money doesn't always equate to somebody who is good. It doesn't mean that somebody is going to fit in, that someone's going to be suitable for what we actually want. So I don't think it is, because money doesn't always equal quality, like I say, or somebody who actually fits in to what we want. Big names. Everyone's always excited, of course, when we get linked to a big name. We always want that statement signing that gives you that buzz. But it doesn't mean, I don't think, that the window has gone completely well just because we've got this one big name. It's not just about one player, is it? It's more about building an actual squad, building a team. So yeah, we all want that big name, but that alone, for me, doesn't make a good transfer window. Getting players in right amount, of what we need to cover, I think is what is more important. I think players going is also really important, as we need to clear any unwanted players out. And when you're thinking about some like the squad, you do always need to keep refreshing it, improving it. So I do think that actually players going out is just as important as players coming in. What you don't want to do is to unsettle the squad too much. So although you do want to do quite a fair bit, I don't think it's all going to get done in one window, especially if you've come off a very bad season, like what obviously we have, or even if you come off a good season and you want to build on that, there's still probably a lot of work to do, but you don't want to unsettle it too much. So I do think that actually balance as well with what you do is also probably important. What the manager wants. Now, for me, this is very, very important. It is so important for the manager to get what he wants. There can be players that Tottenham fans rate and we say we love this player, but it doesn't mean that the manager rates them. So really, for me, the manager should get the say on what he wants. He's got a plan for what he wants to do for the future season. So for me, what he wants should be the most important thing on that list, because we know that he needs certain types of players to basically put his plan into place. How long does it take to get a player? Does that matter? Well, I think that we all want players in quickly. I think that it's important for us not to let the window drag on. Like, I hate it when it drags and drags. I feel like we need to be more decisive. I feel like being decisive is probably more important. If a player can't be got, don't keep going and going and going, just walk away. Even if it is a player that you want, I feel like that being more decisive is better. Move on to the next target. Otherwise you might miss out on targets. So I feel like being decisive in the window is more important. So more than having it take so long. Like I say, if it's a deal that we know you're going to get done, it's just structural, how the payments are structured, that's a bit different, and you can take a bit more time with that, and that's absolutely fine, because deals aren't simple. But if you know that the deal isn't going to get there, I feel like you should just walk away. If you've come to such a standstill, I don't see the point of it. Overall, I think that I'll probably judge at the end of the window, not how long each player takes to get. I think that, like I say, if it's a really big player and it's big wages and a big deal, I feel like then deals do take longer. And if you look historically with other teams, it's exactly the same. It just feels like it's quicker for them because it's not your team. So I do feel like that actually a lot of deals do take quite a bit of time to sort of get into place. So, with all of those things being part of the transfer window, what makes a good one? For me, it's having a plan set out, it's being decisive in the window and giving the manager what he needs to carry out his plans for the season ahead. So, that's what I would say constitutes for a good window. What players I personally want is obviously personal to me. It's subjective. So I might not agree with a player that we're getting and say, well, I didn't want that player. But if the manager wants that player, then so be it. And when they come in, I hope that I'm completely wrong about that player. I've got no problem with being wrong about them. So although everybody's going to have a subjective view of what they want from the window, for me, the most important thing is probably the manager getting what he wants, because I think that is where we know that he then can work with the team that he wants to go and get go out and get what he wants from the following season, which from what he's been saying is that he does want to be challenging to be in Europe, and I think he's probably got quite high expectations for what Tottenham should be doing. So yes, I think that for me is what's important in the transfer window. But let me know what you think. If you disagree with me on any points, I'm happy to have that conversation with you in the comment section. So please make sure you comment. And yeah, like I say, for me, there's lots of different factors to a transfer window. It's not as black and white and simple, I don't think, as one thing makes a great window or two things. I think that is a multitude of things. But like I say, those things for me are the top priorities in what I would say would be a good window. So please let me know what your thoughts are. What's a good window for you? Take very good care of yourselves, and we'll speak again real soon.